now see the connection between x is a dagger x and all this. So we define the a and a dagger operator as the following. This is x plus ip by root 2 and this is x minus ip by root 2. Alright. One thing I can certainly say is the following. If this is my annihilation operator and this is creation operator, then the dagger of annihilation operator is certainly not the same. Okay, so basically it's not a Hermitian operator. Why? If I take the dagger of it, what I get is, I get this operator. So basically the dagger of A is not equal to A. You can see x plus ip becomes x minus ip and that's completely different operator. Likewise, the dagger of this creation operator is not equal to itself. So this A and A dagger, A and A dagger are non-Hermitian operators. And we know that in quantum mechanics, if we have a non-Hermitian operator, then it is not observable. And hence, A and A dagger are not observables. But then you could use this pair of non-Hermitian operators to get Hermitian operators. Quite straightforward from here. I use this combination A plus A dagger by root 2 and A minus A dagger by root 2. I say this is my x and this is my p. Alright. Now you could see there would be Hermitian. Let's check. If I take the conjugate of x, then it becomes A plus A daggers whole dagger, right? And that's again A's dagger, sorry. A's dagger is A dagger and A dagger's dagger is A. And this is nothing but x, okay? Similarly, P, and if I take P's dagger, then it's A minus A dagger's dagger by I root 2. Alright, okay, the dagger of this as well this time. So, I obtain A's dagger becomes A dagger, A dagger's daggers become A, and this I changes to minus I and root 2. What I do next is I take this minus sign to flip these two numbers in the upstairs. So I get A minus A dagger by I times root 2. Alright. And you could see this is same as your P operator. So just to conclude, we have A and A dagger as non-Hermitian operators which are not observable representative, but then the x and p which are cooked from A and A dagger, they are indeed your Hermitian operators. Okay. Now let's see how we represent any generic operator which comes by the name quadrature operator in terms of this xp or A dagger. So quadrature operator which I denote by this q hat, okay, can be written as cos theta times x plus sin theta times b. And now onwards I would not be putting hat always. You should take it for granted that all operators have indeed the hat on them. Okay. This is equally equivalent to e power I theta A dagger plus A times e power minus I theta by root 2. We could reach from here to here by doing the following. What I do is, in this I plug in for x and p in terms of A and A dagger. So for Q, I write cos theta, then A plus A dagger by root 2, and for P, I plug in A minus A dagger by I times root 2. Alright. Certainly then, I could open it up, and when I open it, I get a cos theta A and I get a sin theta A here. Alright. So, what I do, okay, let's first expand, then we will do. So, I get A cos theta, then A dagger cos theta, right, A cos theta, A dagger cos theta by root 2. And then here, what I do is, I take this I upstairs, okay? So, I take this I upstairs to write it as, what I am doing is, 1 by I is minus I basically, right? So, I write it as minus I by root 2 and then sin theta A minus sin theta A dagger. Alright, now I can see if I take A common, then it's a cos theta minus I sin theta, right? Cos theta minus I sin theta. And if I take A dagger common, then it's a cos theta. This minus and this minus makes it a plus. So it becomes a cos theta plus I sin theta. And I have a root 2 downstairs. So now I write this trigonometric function in terms of the exponential function, and I get A e power I theta. Sorry, yeah, A e power minus I theta, and A dagger e power plus I theta by root 2. And yeah, we reach from here to here. So these are two generic representation of a quadrature operator in terms of your x and p operators. And it's in space, so let me clear it. Like I have already mentioned that this x and p are not necessarily the position and momentum. They could be any pair of conjugate operators. And one example is the following. Suppose a light wave vector is propagating in the z direction, and this is x direction, this is y direction. So if the wave is propagating this way, then I could choose the electric field vector's direction to be the x cap, the x direction, and the magnetic field direction to be the y direction. Okay. So this is very certain that E and B, they also form a quadrature, because E vector and B vectors are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so they also form a 90-degree quadrature. And this is exactly analogous to this x and p in your classical reality. Okay. Of course, E and B are also classical, but then we are putting them in the quantum context now because we will be studying quantum optics. So, E and B are just the x and p in our quantum optics. Alright, so x and p would represent E and B, and they are indeed the conjugate variables. Alright. So we saw that this is the generic representation, and we could replace this x and p with any pair of conjugate operators. Okay. Let's now see some particular eigenstates of some particular operators which are very much used in quantum optics.